for in Norwegian. Props to Shade for the translation. I thought I could sum up my trip on 2C-I yet again. This is the story. This time a bit more detailed, since it's been 5 months since it happened by now, and I've gotten more information about it all. And as I've gotten back to a more normal life, I'm able to look back at the situations like this without fucking my head up totally. God, I know exactly how he feels, man. After that 2C-I overdose, I was a different person. And rather than go away from the mind-altering drugs, I dove into them, spice and everything, and meth, and I just was so destroyed by the fact that I had been kicked out of Berkeley that I couldn't handle it. This guy had one of those trips that just shocks you awake, and it's so fucked up that it makes you quit, which has happened to me and a lot of people I know. Shit, my mic just got a little too loud here. I'm going to edit this, is cut out. I don't want to break your ears. I'm on a bed right now on the top floor of a apartment in Spokane. I'm just filling space. Let me read this fucking story. Let's get to the damn thing. Here we go. Drug, 2C-I, amount 270 milligrams. That's kind of, well, I guess it's not unbelievable. I did 100 milligrams myself once, and it wasn't too overwhelming. But 270, my God. Method of consumption, intravenous injection. And then there's a note from Erowid. Erowid note, the dose described in this report is very high, potentially beyond Erowid's heavy range, and could pose serious health risks or result in unwanted extreme effects. Sometimes extremely high doses reported are errors rather than actual doses used. Erowid note, it is not clear how the writer concluded the chemical to be 2C-I or the dose to be 270 milligrams. 270 milligrams of 2C-I is considered an extremely high dose. Yeah, you fucking figure. I believe him. I believe it was a big ass amount, hundreds of milligrams, because you're shooting up, you're trying to get a lot. He didn't know what it was. Here we go. This is gonna be fucking crazy. Oh shit, sorry, this is not heroin. They were trying to get speed. Okay. Same difference. You do not want to inject something that's not the drug that you were trying to inject. Especially like this. Okay, here we go. Here we fucking go already. Oh my God. We are going to buy some speed, he says. From an acquaintance about 3 o'clock, Saturday night, October 21st, 2006, that is. If I remember correctly, we arrived at the place and the seller met me in the door wearing a very distant look. Obviously, the person in question had taken a huge dose of MDMA, GHB, and probably some relaxatives earlier in the night. In other words, the person looked pretty much stoned. He acted like he was also. Well, yeah, you're buying drugs, so you were probably not fazed by that. Sorry for inserting my own dialogue into this. It's just interesting, and my thoughts flowing from my mind about this. I had a good day today, so... After lots of hums and haws, he finally went to get me 2 grams of speed, in quotations. The exchange was going to take place in the living room, where me and my mate were located, truly desperate to get our hands on some good stuff. Oh, I know about me and my mate waiting for the good stuff, man. We were handed 2 bags, supposedly containing speed. I picked one of them, and he immediately started making 2 huge doses, one for me and one for my mate. After a couple of minutes, he walked into the bathroom to inject these long-awaited shots. Since my mate don't use hypodermics usually, he wanted me to shoot him up. I did so. Then it was my turn. Man, I had a bitch shooting me up in Colorado for a while. That was a month I never want to repeat. Never going back to that fucking needle. Believe me. I didn't even like it. It wasn't any better than, that's for when you really have like no money to buy shit. You really need to get high. But anyways, I messed about my arm to find a fit vein. Gotta dig around. It took a couple of seconds before I got a response from one of my chalked prop veins. I smiled a bit to myself, happy, as I was about to inject the stuff. I looked up at my mate. I met with an empty gaze. I asked quickly, "Are you all right?" I knew I'd given him a bigger dose than what he was used to, and I nearly expected such a reaction. He answered with a bending over the toilet, spewing up whatever he had in his stomach. Since this is a normal reaction for a person not accustomed to hypodermics, I didn't think much about it, and that is true. You could throw up. Some people say if they don't throw up, it's not good shit. So I bowed my head and continued injecting. Deep inside of me, there was a voice saying, that drug's got a weird color. Nothing like what it usually is when I shop from him. It usually dissolves in the water and turns transparent. Nah, this looked more like Subutex or something. Far from being diphenyous. Love that word. diaphanous. Sorry, it's diaphanous. Diaphanous. Far from being diaphanous, so that's like a word Alan Watts always uses. Almost like it was filled with chalk. Oh well, as the junkie I am, or rather was, I didn't spare another thought. I went ahead and squeezed in the entire shit. Here we go. Time of injection, 4:15, plus 5 seconds. Chills fly up my arm. Let me sit up in the bed. Let me get in a position that I'm going to go in a meditative position. Yeah, here we go. Oh, this is fucking gnarly. Okay. 5 seconds after. Oh, gosh, sorry, I'm injecting so much. I'm not injecting, I'm adjusting. Shit. Chills fly up my arm. A weird feeling flows up to my shoulder. What the hell is this? This is not speed. Fuck! And me, which gets such a total blast of paranoia in such situations, bloody hell. At the same time, it starts to sparkle in my eyes. I look in the mirror, which is now filled with the sparkling of a dozen lines. He said lines in quotation because, they're not there in real life. Moving like white noise on a TV screen. Bloody fucking hell, he says. 15 seconds after. I'm standing now, running into the living room to find out what I've managed to mess myself into. I managed to find the way and stop in front of the living room table. There's 4 people in front of me, but they weren't all there originally. I only know one of them from before, and I had no plans to get to know any of the others. Taking into account that they're all about 15 years older than me, it makes the temptation quite non-existent. As I said, I stopped in front of the living room table and yell out loud as I can, "What the hell have we just shot?" As I yell this, around 20 seconds have passed since injection. In response, I'm met with a "Shut up! My kid is sleeping in the room next to this one." Reminds me of the Spice Overdose video where he's freaking out and they're telling him to shut the fuck up. As this is being said, all the people change form. They all become animals of an unknown species, and they all rise up from the couch. The guy that knows me reacts with a weird expression on his face. "Sorry, get some water, I suck at this." He realizes that something's gone wrong. My entire face is glowing with fear, and he registers it. 25 seconds in. Boom! I'm supposed to have said the following. "Now you're not animals anymore. You're insignificant objects in the world." World? What's that? I don't know. Me? What did I say? Words? Who? Does it matter? What is mean? What do words look like? Do they taste good? Good? What's that? I don't know. Where's my body? Body? That word looks weird. It's a huge word. Huge letters. Approaching, floating. I'm floating. Right now. Like a punch in my face, everything has changed around me. Everything is floating, liquid, and therefore it's hard to stay on my legs. That's probably why I fall headfirst into the stereo table edge. Not that I notice, as I'm weightless in a floating mass of insignificance and fear. So I just want to comment, I've been there before where you're just like, what is this? What is what? What is wet? Is water wet? Blah, blah, blah. Like the stupid questions but they're really trip you out. You don't understand them. And then when he says he fell and hit his head, he's obviously on a doses so high that he's in a disassociative state. Partially, so that he doesn't feel or register that he fell. When I was on the 2C-I overdose, I was fighting with security guards and falling into the side of the shower and trying to jump out the window, and I had all these bruises and shit, but I don't remember getting him. So he definitely was at that place where it's like he didn't even notice he fell. He probably didn't even notice his body was moving through space as he fell. Like at this point, he says this, XX, because he doesn't know. He says time does not exist in this universe. I'm floating. Everything around me is liquid, floating form. Actually, as I look closer, it's small spherical objects. Everything's tiny spheres. Even I myself am made up of lots of small spheres. I still see this when I have HPPD and white spaces and shit, the spheres. Spheres that I can move around and mix with the rest of this worthless mass. One of the spheres takes the form of a figure, which can best be compared to something from an animated movie. He's fat and has a long snout. And the tip of said snout, there's a black extra large sphere. He's the first sign of life here in this dimension. He's looking at me. I understand nothing. Every word I say turns incoherent. As I say the word, I can see it floating out in front of me. I can touch it, smell it, taste it. What I'm trying to say is, I want to get away from here, help, I want home. But as I don't know what speaking words, home, or anything at all is anymore, it's hard to get the message out. This person here doesn't understand a word, he's just laughing at me. At the same time, animation figure number 2 shows up. This one looks quite a lot like Cruella de Vil. Just a lot more sarcasm and evilness propped into it. She's tall and sinewy and has a cigarette in her yap. She, like everything else, an insignificant collection of spheres of varying sizes. She's laughing at me, as if I'm new in this universe, and apparently she knows. As a newbie, I'm being bullied by 2 3-dimensional figures. I stretch towards her cigarette. As I hit it, she laughs even louder. The cigarette disappears between my hands. It turns into yet more unimportant mass, an insignificant burning mass, which stings. She laughs higher yet, and disappears. Along with her, the first figure also. As it disappears, the first figure gives me a last message. Everything is bullshit. We fooled you. Reality doesn't exist. You don't exist. Nothing is real. Not even oxygen. Nothing matters at all. Along with Cruella and the first guy, even the air disappears. The only thing left is this insignificant floating mass, a mass that I can't breathe in. I try to push it away, although it does not make sense. I understand nothing at all. Around me, there's just lots of colors floating around each other. When I look closer at each color, I see that they're small spheres, small, insignificant spheres, just as insignificant as everything else, even me. I disappear out of this dimension and into the next. Here we go, motherfucker. Boom, 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 drum roll. Brr. Around me, there's only dead creatures. With closer inspection, I see that there's skeletons. Weird skeletons, eerie skeletons. One of them is wearing a cyan sweater of some kind. He's standing in front of me looking at me. The ground is filled with brown, foul-smelling cold water. My feet are wet. It's like my brain received a message saying, I'll be here for the rest of my eternity, here in this insignificant, scary dimension, alone. I look up at the blue-dressed skeleton. I notice how weird his arms are. Correction, arm. He's only got one arm. Said arm is at a 90-degree angle out from his body as if he's pointing at something. Then I notice that he's holding the end of a long cable or steel wire in his hand. As I inspect the thread further, it starts to make electrical noises as if it's charging. At the same time, it starts shooting sparks and glowing in strong colors. I'm panicking. As this cable is charging up, I'm dragged along the ground, pulled by my arms, but no one's holding me. I fall down in the mud at the end of this long wire. This place is totally empty. It's just me here and lots of dead bodies. By my calculations, I spend a long time here in this mudland. The scenario I just explained repeated several times as if stuck in repeat. I hate that. I hate time circles. Actually, they're actually fucking crazy and trippy. It's time fucking circle, but I can't even explain it to you. I disappear out of this dimension into yet another one. There's pieces of glass around me, millions of them. I'm dragged by servants. I think they are policemen. I'm bloody, soaked by blood. My legs are gone, as if they were torn right off. And now I'm being dragged along the ground, while millions of glass pieces are cutting me up more and more. In one moment, I see myself back at my children's school, which I was at for the last time nearly 10 years ago. But the school disappears again. The world around me is still insignificant. In this universe, I notice that there's not one round form. Everything's cubic. Even me. Built up by lots of cubes, each and every one just as insignificant as the next one. I feel total panic in my body. I can't express it since I don't know what language is, and therefore I can't communicate with anyone. Not that I expect any communication, since the policeman dragging me along is obviously not from any regular world. That's probably why they can't help me in any way either. The policeman laughs at me, as if I'm worth nothing at all. As they resume dragging me, in one moment, I'm on an ambulance stretcher. I've got no body. Not that I can see, at least. I'm like a video camera laying on a hospital bed and recording straight upwards. Around me, there's lots of people that I know. Everyone that has hurt me during my life in the real world are now gathered around me. Everyone's got sly looks on their faces. They're staring at me. Suddenly, the world turns into liquid form again. I'm floating along with the bed I'm on and falling backwards, just as if I'm falling into eternity. Slowly, as all the people around me all together yell, "Oh no, oh, 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 oh." You know, like if you were about to fall, this is me talking now. If you were about to fall off a balcony or something, everyone around you would be going like, "Oh, oh shit, oh fuck." And in that moment, you would know, "Oh fuck, I'm fucked." And he has this feeling. He's saying, as all those people, they all start saying, "Oh no, oh, oh, fuck, oh." I feel fear, as if I know what's gonna happen. After I've fallen downwards for a while into this insignificant mass, I'm impaled by hundreds of thin metal threads, like an egg cutter. I can feel the wires chop my body into 100 pieces. Slowly, the threads hit my eyes. I could see driplets of blood flying everywhere in slow motion. Impaled. Right. More fear. As in lots of other scenarios. This is also stuck and repeat. The impaling happens so many times that I can't look at it anymore. I can't understand that this is my destiny. This is how it should end. I still have no knowledge of reality, time, or anything. Wow. 13 hours, a glimpse of a human. I still feel a confused feeling spreading through my body. I look up. Hell, I'm on the hospital bed still. Am I going to get impaled again? No. For once, I'm seeing a real human being. A feeling of warmth. I'm disappearing again. Back into a world with no meaning or anything else. 18 hours. Yet another glimpse. Yet again the same person. This time I'm fighting. Fighting not to lose it again. I managed to open my eyes. I fight really hard to make the people notice me. She sees me. A feeling of being saved is spreading through my body. I turn my head and look towards the light. My parents are sitting there. They open their eyes staring at me. I feel well. Have I finally managed to fight out of the other universes? Back to the world I missed so much? Yes, it seems so. More doctors and nurses come towards me. They are messing about with lots of things around me. I don't know what. One of them holds a flashlight into my eye and is speaking to me. I don't understand what they're saying, but I respond with a smile. I look at my mom again. She's answering me with a small smile as well, like a thank God that he woke up smile. Finally, I managed to say something. I'm asked if I know where I am. I answer no, confused as I am. The nurse laughs a bit. Then the same person asks if I know what drug I used. I answered amphetamine, just as confused as before. She understands nothing, neither do I. But it doesn't matter. I'm back. That was the only thing that mattered to me. Apparently, I'd become very uncontrollable during my stay at the hospital, so they pumped me full of Stestalid. It's a diazepam. That's their name for diazepam, apparently. Fucking Valium. Which made me lay completely still. They thought I might have become brain damaged, so they had even scanned my head. So I want to say this is really interesting because I overdosed here in Spokane, actually, on Klonopin and alcohol. And when that happens, you can't give someone, Klonopin to help them because that's what almost killed them. And I, too, didn't know where I was. And sorry, I'm yawning. I, too, didn't know where I was and didn't know what the doctors were. I couldn't speak to them, and I thought I was brain damaged as well. And I had that feeling of being saved, and they couldn't give me water because I could choke on it and die, so they had to give me ice. They had to scan my brain, and the doctor said I probably would have died within the next 30 minutes because there was no, that's what he literally said, that there was not enough oxygen making it to my brain because I'd stopped breathing for so long, just laying there not breathing, pretty much suffocating. And I'll have to tell that story another time. Let's get back to this, dude. But I have so many things I relate to with this, with the brain scans and the fucking the lung scans and the heart. Suddenly, I feel an extreme pain spreading throughout my entire body. I'm twisted around. The nurse gives me a mirror. I'm looking at myself, not believing my own eyes. I've never seen such a beat-up face in my entire life. My entire body is bloody, cut up and blue. My back has received a good whack, and I can feel that something's not quite right, but oh well, I'm still alive. So yeah, he fucking fell into shit and was fighting. People didn't know what the fuck was going on. Like, you may as well have taken methamphetamine or whatever, the MXE. At that dose, it's fucking, you're disassociated. It's not a disassociative, but you're in a, what you could call a delirious dissociative state, induced by such a high dose of phenethylamine, because phenethylamines do have amphetamine-like qualities. Let's remember that MDMA, methoxy, I don't remember methamphetamine. Anyways, a lot of phenethylamines have stimulant-like qualities, so going into a delirious, delusional, dissociative state is entirely possible. I don't want to get into the specifics of it, but let's get back to the story of this man's insane accident. After a few glasses of water, I rise up from the bed. It hurts, but I have to. I go straight over to my dad. I can see he's not doing completely fine. I give him a hug. For the first time during my 20 years, I've got such a bad conscience. Thinking to myself that I've seen my family go through enough hell, I pull myself together. I'm going to stop abusing drugs. So I want to pause right there because this guy did stop abusing drugs. I know it was an overdose, but these states that you get to on psychedelics have the potential to be one of the most effective treatments, if not the most effective treatment for addiction by and large. End of story. No argument. Bill Wilson, the dude who started Alcoholics Anonymous, the spiritual experience he's talking about people having to have, he talks about his first spiritual experience being one on LSD at a clinical trial. Look it up. He was inspired by fucking lysergic acid diethylamine. People are inspired by psilocybin turning into psilocin, which is for ACO-DMT, which is a natural occurring hallucinogen, such as dimethyltryptamine. All these hallucinogens have the power to fucking give you like 5 years of therapy in a couple hours. And if you could do it in a controlled setting, kind of like these ketamine clinics, I imagine in 30 years, 40 years, we'll have fucking psilocybin clinics, and they will find that it is the fucking best treatment. Just like ibogaine, however you want to fucking say it, is one of the, if not the best treatment for stopping heroin withdrawals in their tracks. Other things you have to taper and all that, but ibogaine literally, like, damn. So, sorry, that was just the most powerful part for me when he says, I'm going to stop abusing drugs, and he did it. I've had friends that had took 2C-I in a large dose and stopped abusing drugs for a long time. When you get back into the grind of the regular life and you start to go back into those same neural pathways that you've been using, those ones you're familiar with, that are stronger, that are more comfortable, that are more reinforced, you end up ultimately going back to using. But if you could have maybe, say, once a month a session where you like reevaluate who you are inside or whatever from psychedelics, you will probably have the potential to stay sober. But I want to state that I'm not condoning that you go out and find psychedelics and try to do this yourself. Obviously, I can't condone that legally, but there are ketamine clinics, and these things have promising effects. And they have for me too, but I'm not, I don't need them right now to get my life together. As Alan Watts said, if psychedelics are like a phone call, when you get it, when you get the message, you can hang up. And if you really get the message, you can hang up for good. But sometimes people need to get the message again. It's just how it is. But let's go back to the story. I don't know, this is going to be long. The hospital gives me 2 crutches, and I'm limp back home along with my parents. Yeah, I had to relearn to walk myself after my overdose. 5 months later, I still have problems with flashbacks and the sort. I receive different kinds of medications to manage to retain a normal life. As of now, it works quite well. I've quit the junkie lifestyle. I'm looking forward to a life of studying and work. That's amazing, man. I've been told that if I touch another hallucinogen ever again, I might risk fucking my brain beyond all repair. Well, you know, if he's on the edge, or if he's emotionally unstable from that huge dose, it might trigger that giant panic attack and just a horrible experience that just makes him even more panicky or whatever the fuck. That's why you can't just go out and do this on your own, because it's true. I mean, if you went back out and did the wrong drug at the wrong time, a psychedelic, whatever, it could trigger even schizophrenia if he has that underlying disposition in his genes. Doesn't always happen, but it happens, even in rare cases from marijuana. I wouldn't say extremely rare, but rare. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, here we go back. I'm not even talking about the story. I'm mostly just talking about drugs and psychedelics, bro. Get it. I've been told that if I touch another, I already read that, I might risk fucking my brain beyond all repair. Well, it wouldn't have caused any physical fucking brain damage if you did psilocybin or something. Anything, you could probably use them to repair the damage that you did in the past. But I'm not even going to go on that, but you need to start talking. I remember that I tried, stupid as I am, to eat some ecstasy sometime in February. The result, 2 days of flashbacks. I lost control totally. Well, it's in the same class of drug. That was after a single, quote-unquote, ecstasy pill, which probably contained anything but MDMA. No, if it had MDMA or MDA or fluorinated amphetamines or whatever, like this, still a stimulant. You want to go with psilocybin or dimethyltryptamine. Well, dimethyltryptamine might be a little hard. Psilocybin for sure, though. Psilocybin for the win, motherfucker. Don't go do any of this shit without consulting a doctor, or actually it's legal, so don't do any of it ever. That's what I have to say. I'm used to shooting it, but this time I decided to eat it. Thank God that I didn't shoot it. When a single ecstasy was enough to send me on a trip like that, never again. And I'm still sticking to that. DonVito. And then he has a quote. Real friends are like good ecstasy. They fill your life with happiness, but they're damn hard to find. Well, maybe he can find some good friends on the dark web. Okay, what do you guys think? Let me know. Also, let me know what you're interested in hearing talk about. And if I did a podcast, would anyone fucking listen to it? I mean, YouTube is railing me up the ass. I mean, I just was climbing in subscribers at a very steady pace and then literally stopped at 9,040. Like, just right there. And I think it went up to 9,042 and then back down. It's like, damn, is there some kind of barrier before you hit 10,000 or something? Not that I really care. I mean, I really don't. This is more of a therapy for me, but it would be nice to bring more awareness to certain things. I guess maybe I'm not the best spokesperson for it until I'm sober longer. Just did have a year off alcohol, save for a few slip-ups that were small, but I mean, it was still a year without any major drinking or anything. I drank once and went crazy on the kayak. You could see that on my Snapchat story, Crazy Kayak Adventure. I drank then. The next morning I didn't drink or anything and I stopped. And then one time when I was panicking from meth, I drank some beers. But it's like, yeah, I'm sober, dude, off alcohol 1 year. It's like I had to drink beer once because I was panicking from the meth, but I've been sober, dude, for 1 year. It's so fucking stupid. I got sober off alcohol, sure, but I was still using heroin. I mean, I would say I had 6 or 7 months off everything, but then I hit up some cocaine on the dark net, then this and that, then I'm getting heroin from downtown, then I'm doing heroin, then I'm getting kicked out, then I'm doing heroin with the girl, then I get home, then I get sober, then I'm doing some heroin, and then I'm doing more heroin, and then some meth, a little bit of alcohol, and then fucking blah, 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 back to Spokane. Ooh, Spokane, you hear me, motherfucker? Spokane of tuna will help your protein intake for when you were lifting. I don't know. I suck. I just suck in general. Let me hit this drawer real quick. I'm such a fucking... Woo. Okay, guys. Let me know what you think about that crazy story. If you have a story you would like me to read, don't tell me I should be one of those readers for the books or something. That I don't even know how you would get started on a job like that. And all this shit's so fucking oversaturated. You know what isn't oversaturated? Accidental 2C-I injection overdose stories. So let's hope we get a few fucking views from this motherfucker. Looker. Making fun of Tucker. I wanna fuck. Sandwich. Fudge sandwich. Okay. Guys, I gotta stop. I don't know how fucking long this is, and I swear to fucking God, if I accidentally delete this whole recording for some reason, I'm throwing this yoga bullshit laptop through the fucking upstairs window, and I hope that it hits a small animal when it lands, because fuck the universe, dude. Fuck the universe. That's pretty much like saying, fuck me, fuck my life, because you are the universe. So I guess I should, if I'm talking shit about the world, I'm talking shit about myself. Okay, let's get this done. Thank you for, should I say, watching and listening to this 2C-I injection overdose story. And I will probably end up telling my Spokane, Washington overdose story. It was the worst overdose I've ever had in my life, and it should have killed me. And I actually think I have brain damage from it because I have so much trouble retaining names of people. Like if I just met them or we haven't had like a bunch of time together, I will not remember their name. But there's 3 guys down here, and it's just like, it should be simple. One's named Nick, one's named Cody, one's named Johnny. It's like, okay, Nick, Cody, Johnny. By tomorrow morning, I won't know who's who, and I won't know if I'm wrong or if it was something else, if it was Travis, if it was Malone, if it was Preparation H, dude. I don't fucking know. There's a dude in here named Gooch, so I'll remember that name. But you see what I'm saying? Like, people's don't take up much space in my mind with their names and shit unless I've had a lot of time with them, which wasn't the case before. And shaky hands and other shit. Low energy sensitivity to when it's really cold when you get out of the shower. I fucking hate that. That has nothing to do with that. But it was really bad. I had to relearn to talk, and I actually in my mind had this fucked up thought like, oh my God, I did it. I made myself retarded, but not with so many words because I couldn't use the words. It was like, I do. Oh no, I stuck. Dumb. I dumb now. It was like that, literally. I couldn't talk. I couldn't fucking talk for days, and I had to relearn to walk and everything. And Whew, I thought people were other people. I thought this one dude who visited me was my mom. I thought one of the nurses was my girlfriend. I was like, Mackenzie, I can see you. Come back out here. And, you know, it wasn't. She's like, the nurse. She's like, I'm not your girlfriend. It's like, now I want to go back and be like, yo, will you go out with me? And then 2 weeks later be like, I could see the future, bitch. I knew you would be my girlfriend. You are my girlfriend. Just kidding. I don't know what I'm talking about now. I gotta go. I'm done. Thanks, guys. Check for the next video. Love you.